Welcome to episode 80 of the Valorant tips and tricks sent by you series. A series where I show Valorant tips and tricks that you guys send to me. 80 episodes! Honestly, it's insane to think about that. And some might ask, MrLowlander, how did you make 80 episodes without showing the same tricks over and over again? And my answer to that is this clip over here. Take a look at it. At first, you might think, nothing wrong with this, right? Tekri is just doing some weird movement, but take a closer look and pay attention. You see that? It feels like Tekri is walking against a wall. There's no wall over there, right? Let's hop into a custom game. And, oh, what? Apparently, there is a wall over here on Abyss. You literally can't walk to the other side unless you jump over the box. You can't even updraft over it, and it just appeared out of nowhere. And this is why we got so many episodes of this series. New glitches, but also new tricks are appearing and disappearing every month in Valorant. So I see this series more as an update to Valorant every 2 weeks about all the things that are and aren't possible. And I quickly want to thank every one of you. Because of you guys this series is possible. And now it's time to talk about the next thing. On Pearl, if you want to peek into B main, jumping on these boxes is usually a very bad thing to do. When you jump on these boxes, you will peek into everyone that is standing in long and they have an easy headshot on you. However, there is a cool tricky that you can use to make this jump safer. Because did you know that when your teammates are spotting an enemy, you'll be able to see an arrow on the minimap to know which way the enemy is looking. This is a very underrated mechanic in Valorant, but we can use that. Just pay attention to the minimap, and if you notice that all the arrows are pointed towards your teammate, that's the moment when you can peek, and it's exactly what the Genius did in this round.
One enemy remaining.
For the phone users, here's a zoom in on his minimap. You see that all the arrows are pointing to his teammate, right? So big brain, it's Genius, like always. Well played. Next one, let's take a look at last episode, because in last episode we saw this clip. But whatever I tried, I wasn't able to recreate the super boost in a custom game, so I thought that this was a 1 in a million moment. Until Bertildo sent it in this clip in a Discord server. Apparently he made a lineup, and here's how it goes. First you gotta stand against this part of the wall. Then aim at the corner of the tile, use your updraft, and as soon as your crosshair crosses the top of the ramp, dash into heaven. This one might need a little practice, but I think it's a dope combo to defend the side with. And while we're over here on Icebox with Jet, Leuker found another one of those deadlock combos. If you throw the deadlock barrier in this corner, you can actually jump on it with Jet, and look at that, the crazy off angle for you. The best part of this combo is that if you use your Jet ultimate, you'll still be accurate. However, there's one big but of this combo, and that's getting your deadlock barrier over there. The lineup is so hard to do. It took me 4 minutes to get one barrier over there, and I still don't understand it, so I'll not try to explain something I don't understand. It's a cool trick, but not reliable at all. Luckily, this next play is a little bit easier to do, but still very effective. Imagine, you need to retake a site, and you know for sure that the last guy is in hell. Getting the retake is a very hard thing to do. When you jump down, it's almost certain that the enemy is simply waiting for you. So my friends, here cool tricky. With Neon, if you stand in window, then walk forward, there's just enough room for you to slide onto the boxes. All you gotta do is while mid-air make a 180, and as soon as you land on the boxes, you're pretty accurate, and that's how you catch the enemies by surprise. The submitter of this trick was Storms, and you won this video's battle pass, so congrats my friend. If you got any cool tricks, don't forget to submit them in the Lowlander Discord server, and you might be next week's winner. And about catching the enemies by surprise, if you ever see a Sage wall, by now it's well known that a lot of Sage players like to chill behind their own wall. A little red spot, you know? Often it works, like this clip of player Indo 10. But here's a sneaky thing that you can do. If you ever notice that the enemy Sage is placing her wall next to a wallbangable wall, then it doesn't hurt to try to go for some wallbangs. And maybe, when you're lucky, the Sage is trying to go for a ready play, and then easy peasy kills for you. Also, yes, for the people who are wondering, the wooden part of this wall is actually wallbangable with the Guardian, but even with a Vandal, while the brick part isn't wallbangable. It's actually a pretty strange mechanic, because if you really think about it, the wooden part is like over the brick part, you know, so there should be bricks in between the wood, but hey, Valorant doesn't know physics. The most thick walls are made of paper, and we can use that to make some kills. And about clown physics, sometimes I see clips where I honestly have no idea what's happening, and this is one of them. Take a look at it. Okay, what is happening over here? In this round, the Deadlock Grefnet came from the left over there, and it seemed like it was going through the wall and hit Clove. But then Deadlock was peeking 2 seconds after the Grefnet landed. There's no way that in that small time, she had run all the way from link through middle, right? That's why I wanted to show it to you guys. If you know anything, let me know in the comments down below. But my guess is that it's a visual bug. Luckily, this next thing I am able to explain. It's a waylay tricky. When you want to dash on a high box, for example this container on Icebox, you will actually fly a little over the box and then land down. And this could
could be dangerous in the middle of the round, because by the time you've landed down, the enemies might be able to kill you since you're not accurate. But no worries, because did you know that if you hug the container, aim straight up and then dash, you will actually like grapple yourself on the container and you're accurate immediately. This container is like the perfect height. It doesn't work on every spot, for example on Nest, but there are a lot of spots in Valorant that do work. A very nice tricky to surprise the enemies. And let's stay on Icebox for an extra tricky. It's been a while since we talked about this agent, but here's a cool thing you can do. If you plant a spike on the bridge and the enemy is trying to defuse it, you can place your star behind these boxes, use your black hole, and you will yeet the enemies off the bridge. They will need to walk all the way around to get back to the spike, and maybe you save enough time. I know, it's a pretty situational trick because the planting spot is very dangerous, but especially in those 1v1s, this might be the way to secure the round. Quick bobber break. I think my cat is addicted to UEAI. If you subscribe now, she might get distracted by the notification. Did you know that if you go to these boxes on Pearl, walk into the corner, jump and spam crouch, you will actually fly a little bit. Is it a useful mechanic? Absolutely not, but the more you know, I guess. Let's move on. I think it's time to take a small break from the tricks and go to the trick shots. Let's start with the trick shot that only the OG Counter-Strike players can remember. Oh, Kikli shot. Next one.
Some guy tries to force out.
Oh, another Kikli shot. Then we have just a lucky shot. And let's end the trick shots with an attack helicopter. Back to the tricks. Did you know that if Omen uses his ultimate, you can actually use your Grafnet on the ghost, and then when Omen goes back, he will be stunned. Very OP, right? But this got me questioning. Can you also use your ultimate on the Omen ghost? And the answer to that is kinda. If you use your Deadlock ultimate on the Omen ghost, he will instantly go back to his spawn point. So you'll basically kill him, but not the real him, but the ghost him. And about Omen, this next one isn't really a tricky, but look at this clip.
I got you.
Yep, you saw it right. The Viper was inside the Omen smoke, inside the wall of Viper. Omen was between the two, and that's how we got the kill. It's a very funny moment. Let's move on. Vice. Let's talk about Vice. What? Vice? Honestly, I didn't talk about this agent since the release of this agent. Sorry, Vice, nothing against you. I guess not enough people play this agent, but here's the cool wall that you can use. On Abyss, a lot of players like to place their wall over here in the hope that enemies will jump against the wall and fall down. It's a good trick, however, this is well known. So here's another thing you can do. Try to place your wall a little deeper, over here for example, and then your traps on the ledge. Now go to backside, wait till the enemies are pushing, and as soon as your wall triggers, then activate your trap and peek. The enemies will have nowhere to go, literally, because the best part about this trick is that if your trap is activated and they try to jump, they actually can't make it, so they will fall down anyway. And this is what happened to the enemies of Axel.
Wall trick. Those are live.
And what? Another Vice trick? On Pearl, if you place your wall like this, you'll block the lurk in two ways. So if the enemies are walking through middle, they need to pass your wall first. It will activate, and this will give you a little more time to prepare for the lurker. However, make sure that you place it very close to the wall, otherwise the enemies can jump past it. And of course, it's also possible with Cypher. Another Vice trick! What? Okay, actually, this next one isn't a Vice trick, but it's a strange Vice mechanic where you need to pay attention to. Apparently, if you play Waylay, use your refract on a Vice wall, and then refract when the wall activates, you will basically spawn inside their wall. I know, a pretty strange mechanic, right? Be careful for this. Next one. Since it's the 80th episode, I think it's the right moment to put in a small bonus trick. This one most of you probably already know, but it's the trick that started this all, the teleporter trick. Throw something through the teleporter, the door will open, and easy peasy kills for you.
MrLowlander! Oh my god, I love you, MrLowlander! I love you, MrLowlander!
It's a TP tricky. TP tricky.
I love you too, my friend. The TP tricky never fails. Thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to everyone who submitted in a trick. I hope you learned something new, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.